Hey, Dr. Cindy here with another episode of the Essential Therapies podcast. And today I have a special episode with Valerie McGraw, physical therapist and chief physical therapist at the John F. Barnes Myofascial Release Treatment Center in Malvern, Pennsylvania, also known as the Sanctuary. So I recently worked there. I do some PRN work when some of the therapists are on vacation, which is a real pleasure for me. And Valerie and I decided to do an episode here on the importance of feeling our emotions and how we can explore them in our body as they get trapped in our fascia, causing pain, dysfunction, and limiting our joy. Quite a fascinating topic. And what's most exciting about this is that in this environment lately, we have had so much more awareness about exactly this and how we can talk about it more. It used to be decades ago, nobody really talked about how we store emotions in the body. So yeah, we can talk about it now. So check out this episode with Val and me at the Sanctuary. Enjoy. Learn why it's important to feel the emotions that are trapped within the body in this discussion with Valerie McGraw at the John F. Barnes Myofascial Release Treatment Center in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Hello, Essential Therapy followers. Dr. Cindy Hodgson here. I'm a physical therapist, exercise physiologist, and I am visiting here at John Barnes Myofascial Release Treatment Center in Malvern, Pennsylvania, also known as the Sanctuary, which I think is an awesome name. And I am here with Valerie McGraw, who is John's chief physical therapist and clinic manager here, and has been working for John for 32 years. Yeah. Yes. So that's so amazing. This is all
gray hair, so.
all that you know, right? So we had a chat today. So the rest of the story is I'm here working this week with, only with you today, but for a few days as a fill-in therapist, which is quite an honor to be able to do that.
I love having you. Thank you for helping us out.
And so we were having a chat about emotion being stored in the body. And it came up, how do we talk to people about this, as it's not necessarily a common thing. So this is something that we work with all the time, and it's like normal, and realizing that not everybody looks at it that way. So we were just discussing, how do we let people know what's really going on in the fascia and how it's connected to emotion and how it relates to myofascial release. So
you're basically trying to let people, I think what we were talking about is people that come in with symptoms, maybe physical symptoms, that it can run deeper than what they could ever imagine. And that could be related to some trauma at some point in life, and possibly an emotional component that they've been holding underneath the surface that can be creating the issues that they're having. Is that right? Like trying to make them more aware. I guess
it's common to us.
Yeah.
But to try to make it more.
Yeah. So typically, when people come to see us, we're our intensive patients. We try to encourage them to read John's Healing Ancient Wounds and to watch his Fireside Chat DVD. So that kind of primes them a little bit and lets them know what the potential of this work is. Our local patients who come, a couple times a week, they tend to come in maybe with some awareness or really no awareness. Somebody may have referred them, or they just found us, online or something. And they're coming in more cold, and they don't really understand that part of it. So basically, just acknowledging that when you go through a trauma, explaining, whatever they're coming here for you, that it's, if it's a physical trauma, there's no way that you cannot have an emotional connection to whatever you're going through, a reaction. And likewise, if you've had some turmoil or emotional stress in life, your body reacts to that as well. We contract around that emotion. So either way, the common denominator is a fascial system that tightens over time. and that creates, pain or dysfunction or disease. And so educating people, and especially it might come up with people that might say, well, my symptoms just kind of came on out of nowhere, like an insidious onset. They don't know what they did, why they continue to struggle in life. And that might be worth a conversation, that there's, more to what we see on the surface, or what we think in terms of pain, or what they may perceive as their problem, that it runs much deeper. And I think one way to do that, we don't talk a lot about it. We just put hands on and try to bring their awareness, because when somebody's gone through an ordeal in life, whether it's an emotional stress or trauma, or some kind of accident at some point, their body, explaining that their body did what it needed to do to get through the ordeal, to protect themselves. And that because of our higher levels of consciousness, that protective response, which is meant to last a couple hours or a couple days or a couple weeks, is lingering, because we our channel 5 state, what John calls our thinking linear side, and then also in combination that with along with our programming, usually from a young age, we get the message that it's not okay to cry, it's not okay to feel certain things, and so those things in combination kind of lead people to the point where they are when they come see us. So I think one way to educate them is through our touch, and that when we put hands on, we encourage them to bring your awareness into the space underneath our hands, to open your senses up. Anything that you, any of your senses. So it could be a felt sense, a sensation. It could be a vibration, getting them just to start to tune in. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise it's a concept. I think if we talk about it versus come in and start to feel, in order to get through the ordeal, whatever they've gone through in life, they can pull partially out or fully out. And it's a great response, but if it lingers too long, it can get in the way of our enjoyment in life, our ability to reach our potential in life and to accomplish what we want in life. And it can steal our joy, our ability to love and to feel love and to really enjoy life fully. So, just bringing their awareness into sensation as we're treating them, but then expand that idea through your experience as you go through your day, just tuning in frequently through your day, anything that your senses can bring. So it could be a sensation, could be a vibration, could be a sense of warmth or cold, or you might be out taking a walk, and, open your senses up, feel the breeze, feel the warmth of the sun on your face, and just feel it. You don't have to do anything with it. It could be a visual, awareness.
We're essentially kind of talking about channel 3 too.
It's reconnecting. So it's basically helping them to reconnect with basically the way they came into the world. We came into the world as instinctual feeling beings. What John calls channel 3 is our instinctual side. We perceive our world through our senses. It does drive our protective response. It's our intuition, and it doesn't. It's more global. It's a more global sense, a more global awareness. It's not so much concerned with details. That would be more channel 5. It's not linear. That's channel 5. Channel 5 again is the fix it, figure it out mentality. So when we came into the world, we experienced our life through our senses. Everything that we needed was we felt it through our body. Feeling. Yeah.
No words. We weren't using words.
we didn't have words, but we were able to communicate pretty incredibly well. Yeah. Else we wouldn't be here, right? So we did it through our felt sense. You know, if we were hungry, we had a certain sound for that. If we were wet, we maybe had a different sound for that. If we were tired, you know, different sound or cry. And if we were happy, you know, that has a different sound and expression. And so all of those things we have in us on such a innate level to get through life at a very young age. And then we develop this other side once we get into school, this linear logical thinking side. So basically what we're doing with myofascial release is that we're helping bring awareness back in. And we do it through touch, through connection, through we as therapists centering ourselves. And they can feel, you know, the people that we treat, they can feel when we're centered and when we're not. So creating an environment that feels, you know, where they feel safe and supported, and through our touch, just coming into sensation, opening up your senses to whatever it is that your body can feel. It could be the weight of, even the weight of your, as you're treating somebody, the weight of their body on the mat, warmth or coolness of the air. It could be when you're out and about, like I said, if you're taking a walk or a hike, the sun hitting you, the sounds, you know. It could be a visual image or a flash or a color. These are all ways the body communicates with us, and it does it all the time. But are we paying attention? You know, and
we shut that stuff off.
Yeah,
you know? It doesn't feel good, so we don't
want to. And you know, and emotions. You know, in visual images, it could be something simple as a color. We don't have to try and figure it out. It could be something that might be an actual image of something that we've seen in life, or it could be symbolic, you know, of you know, something that we may be feeling in life. So we don't try too hard to figure out what it represents. If it has meaning, it'll come up, but don't, you know, we don't work too hard at it. Emotions, again, as we started talking about. So basically, that can be tough because of our programming usually from a young age, and but trying to educate people, you know, about what exactly is the purpose of emotions? Why do we have them if nobody seems to like them? You know, why do we run from our emotions? You know, why are we not turning and embracing there? Because
we're programmed.
Yeah, it's our programming. So basically, our emotions are here to guide us through life. You know, they help us feel alive, and they help us to relieve stress. It's a built-in system of way of being in life.
Flowing through us.
Yeah, they're meant to flow through us.
Through the tubules, too.
Yeah.
The fascia.
So
if you feel happy, the times you can feel happy, their whole body feels happy.
Yeah.
The times you feel,
you know, if you look at a little dog who's happy, their whole body is happy. You know, little Chloe.
It's not just something that's happening in here.
Yeah,
it's or in here.
Yeah. So it's an experience, and it runs through the totality of your body. You know,
so we know that the fascia is tubule in nature, so there's a liquid flowing through it, which is, they liken it to our consciousness. Yeah. Consciousness flowing through every cell. So like the tissue memory and the tissue.
Yeah. And John he basically calls it, you know, and it's been said that the fascial system is the container of the mind, and it uses light energy, photon energy, to as a system of communication. And you know, the speed of light is so much faster than, you know, than what an electrical impulse can travel along a nerve. I mean, so it brings us information, helps us process information so quickly, and
the fiber optics of the body.
That's right.
Basically.
Yeah. And the fluidity. So the fluidity is important. The ground substance is, you know, gelatinous-like, so it's a solid gel. It's a combination.
The space between our cells, we're mostly water. We should be more like Jell-O, less like concrete, right?
Yeah. And through injury, stress, or trauma, the system, you know, starts to dehydrate. And then if it's left untreated, it begins to solidify. And again, that photon, that light energy that travels through our body, bringing incredible information, and that it starts to block the flow of light. That ground substance that's solidified, it blocks the flow of light. So slowly over time, through one layer of injury, trauma, inflammation, all these things that happen, our light is slowly going off. That's what we call quote unquote aging. But
and it can be emotional too, not just an
right.
Type
so emotion, what does emotion do when we don't express it? When we can't, we've gone through an ordeal, we did what we needed to do to survive. It's over. But our higher levels of consciousness don't realize it's over. And so we're going through life carrying that which was too much to feel at the time of trauma, whether it's an emotional trauma or physical stress. It's a combination. But both those things go hand in hand. And because of our higher levels of consciousness, we as humans get stuck in the freeze. And so basically it's an incredible mechanism that was meant to last for a short period of time. And as we know through Peter Levine's work, that animals let that go right away, the thawing of the freeze response. And that myofascial release, through myofascial release, we can, as we bring our awareness back in, as the tissue starts to open up, that which was stored on a cellular level starts to bubble to the surface. And so again, I think the starting point, is through touch, with some words as needed, just to get them to bring their awareness into this and letting them know it's okay to feel, it's okay to come back in, getting across the message. And again, the message tends to have more power when it comes from ourselves, rather than somebody telling us, So basically, we'll say to somebody that we're working with, as we're sensing something may be coming up or they may be feeling things, is that it may be important to get a few messages across to yourself. Again, you don't have to say anything yourself you don't want, but if it feels right to you, just mentally say to yourself, no matter what happened in life, I survived. And repeat that message to yourself, mentally to yourself. Let it sink in. Let every cell in your body feel it. I survived. I'm safe now. And repeat that message to yourself. Let that sink in. I survived. I'm safe now. It's over. Meaning that it's okay to soften. Let that message sink in. It's okay to soften now. I'm through the ordeal. At one point, it served a purpose to protect, or the stress we were going through. Maybe we couldn't speak at the time. Maybe we couldn't say what we needed to feel in order to survive. But guess what? It's over. It's okay. It's okay to soften. It's okay to feel. And then, at some point, sometimes getting the message across, no matter what happened, I did the best I could, that's important. And because the ordeal is over, so it's okay to soften, it's okay to feel,
And I love John's, I can hear John's words saying, I let go.
I let go, yeah. And I, basically, at some point, I give myself permission to fully reconnect with my essence. Because what happens when we go through an ordeal is we pull our awareness out. And, this is a way, giving yourself the message that I give myself permission to fully reconnect with my essence, to live life fully and to enjoy life fully. And I think getting across the message too, especially when trauma, we treat a lot of people that have gone through abusive situations early on, molestations, rapes, from a young age.
And even emotional abuse.
Right, emotional abuse. Yeah, because that, again, creates contraction in the system, protection. And especially if it goes on for a long period of time, it creates this habitual contraction and protection. And, especially if we struggle early on in life, sometimes we get the message that life is supposed to be a struggle. And that's not the way it's meant to be. And so this work provides a whole nother level of possibility for, people know that there's more out there, that doesn't have to be a struggle. And I think it has to come back into just connecting, through touch, through our awareness, through centered awareness, and creating a space that feels safe, so that and also getting across the message that no matter what we've been through in life, especially if these situations, like you mentioned, abusive situations happen, especially early in life, that getting across the message that you are who you are from the moment you came into being is pure, beautiful essence. And you always were and you always will be. And that events and things and traumas happen in life. But you are not the event. You are a being. And I think early on, I think when people struggle after going through abusive situations, it's hard for them to distinguish between who they are and what happened to them. They're two different things. They're a being, they're not an event. Events come and they go. They're attached to time. And so I think it's helpful when we help them get to that place where they realize that they are not the trauma that happened in life. They're a being, two different things. And that the hurts and things that happen in life can cover up, they get in the way of our true experience of ourselves, our essence. And that through this work and through getting those messages across, it's okay to soften, and, it helps us to reconnect with our essence and to identify with our essence. And so often when people come here, they're identifying with the trauma, and it's hard for them to distinguish between the two. So I think this work is really powerful in helping people to connect with their essence and, to embrace it and to be able to soften their heart and to be able to open up and to experience the love that's around them wherever they go. It's profound, it's life-changing, and it's the way we're meant to be in life,
And something that just occurred to me too is that it's not just these traumatic things we're talking about, but just normal life and living as far as like grieving. There's going to be loss in this life. We've all experienced, whether it's the loss of a loved one or a relationship or just a job, all kinds of different things that create pain. And there's this tendency to avoid going into that and feeling that, which that does the same thing as going through a trauma, right? And just it kind of creates that whole tightening down effect. And so being able to, so many of, I hear this all the time, like, well, let's say someone passed away that was close, and it's like, how is this person, how are you doing? Well, I haven't really been able to go there. Life's been too busy, I haven't been able to, like, they kind of go on autopilot, they go through maybe the illness or the whole ordeal, right?
They can, and people can get caught up in the details of doing things,
right?
Instead
and
of
like,
being,
I just got to get through this. I got to get through it, right? And so it's like this autopilot of working through it. It's kind of, our society tells us that too. I mean, we're not so great at grieving in this society anyway, right? No. But learning to feel that, because even that can create pain, and it's not uncommon for us to, even when someone knows it's okay to release emotion in a treatment session, is to immediately be like, oh, tears may start to come up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm, start to apologize. It's like, no, this is great. This is like letting go of that.
And it's funny because it will say, no, we want you to.
I know.
You don't have to be sorry about crying. Really? And it is like, planting that seed again. It's. I think we all know how to do it because, like I said, we came into the world that way. We just need to be reminded that it's okay. Yeah. And
maybe it wasn't in some situations, because they were around people who didn't know how to handle it.
Well, it wasn't, but how we came into the world was, it was for however long that lasted. We, you know what I mean? Yeah. But somebody along the way gave us a message that it's not okay to cry or it's not okay to feel, And so we came into the world as instinctual feeling beings. So it is familiar at some level. And what we're doing with this work is to help them reconnect with the wisdom of their body. Basically, and that the wisdom of your body knows what you need and loves you. It has your highest interest in mind, basically. So I still, say coming in through centered touch and being centered as therapists, being present and creating a space that feels safe. And we don't explain really anything really about unwinding. It tends to happen spontaneously, but when we start to sense things are brewing, we just get them into notice, feel what's here, feel the quiver deep within, or connecting with that. It may not be unwinding, but just an exercise just to get them to come in is take a breath or two and just, after a few breaths, pause between breaths and just feel that quiet, still space between breaths,
Place
and
to rest.
True
rest.
Feel that quiet, still space between breaths and just notice that it's there, and be curious. So I don't know.
Allow ourselves to feel.
Yeah.
We could talk for too long, right?
I could. But
the beauty of it is that, without feeling that stuff that we have been taught to kind of shove under, we don't feel as much joy either,
exactly,
and the bliss. So in order to have this incredible, beauty of life and feel the good things, you got to feel the
and actually, when we're not even aware, and typically we're not aware of those things, when we're encouraging people to feel it as it's coming up, it's not that they're feeling it for the first time. They're feeling it every day, 24/7. It becomes a filter through which they go through life. And so, but when it's underneath the surface, when it's in the subconscious, they don't have a choice. So as it starts to bubble to the surface, they have awareness. And mainly, a lot of times, what'll come up are messages that, or beliefs or whatever that don't serve them. Whether it's something they had an awareness or some kind of experience, a message that was embedded at a young age with limited awareness of certain things in life, or somebody may have explicitly said something, some message that came across to them. But whatever it is, once it comes to the conscious awareness, we can change it. John says, basically, what's a more positive, functional way to believe and act now? We're in charge of changing the message. If it doesn't serve you, change the message. So.
Change that belief system. The belief system of holding things in that is creating dis-ease of the system.
Yeah.
And creating who knows what. Which is a whole nother thing. Thank you so much, Val.
You're welcome. Thanks for chatting.
Any other last
as a resource, I would encourage people to read Healing Ancient Wounds. It lets people know what the possibility of the work is. Watch Fireside Chat. And there's also, for therapists and patients, there's a tab on myofascial.com, our website. This is John's book, Healing Ancient Wounds. Really helpful. We encourage all of our patients to read this to help them get the most out of their program. But if you go to our website, myofascial.com, and you go to the resources tab, there's articles that John has written for numerous publications over the years on different topics. Sometimes it's good to just hand one out here and there, different nuggets, and have them read. Or if it's a patient that you're working with, you can refer them to the website, and they can randomly read at their leisure through there. It's very helpful, I think. And another good resource, I think, is if you go to the homepage, MFR Insight, there's a button that you can click on there and just get involved with MFR Insight.
You're talking about Facebook.
Our Facebook group, which is a great resource for people to start to get a broader sense of, who we are and how we're meant to be in life. Because when you struggle in life for quite a while, you start to forget, what the possibilities were. It's hard to even imagine a way out when we've struggled. And so I think being on MFR Insight, and people sharing their experience, therapists sharing their experience, patients sharing their experience, John sharing his insights through posts and therapists from all over the country, really does help them to kind of see that there's a way out, and there's hope, so anyway.
So yes, our emotions are stored in our bodies, in our fascia, and we have a way to release them, and it's beautiful. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Thanks for helping us out this week. She's a great therapist.
Oh, thank you. All right, have a beautiful day.
Find out more about myofascial release and the John F. Barnes myofascial release approach at www.myofascialrelease.com. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more information on myofascial self-care, self-treatment, and other essential therapies. Remember, feeling is healing. Thanks for watching, and check out Essential Therapies at esstherapy.com.